Hey y'all, Tanny Cooks here, and today I'm going to show you how to make this absolutely delicious shrimp and broccoli udon noodle soup. So comforting, so let's get to cooking. I'm starting off with a 16-ounce bag of frozen broccoli florets. Frozen vegetables are great because they are frozen fresh at peak freshness, and broccoli is awesome because it only has 30 calories per serving. So because this is frozen, I'm going to put it in a glass bowl and defrost it in my microwave. While that's going, I have a bag of chicken parts, a chicken breast and a chicken leg that I froze at some point that I want to go ahead and use. So I let that thaw out overnight, and that's what I'm going to use to make my stock for this soup. So the main star is the udon stir-fry noodles. Now I'm not cooking this in any authentic Asian method. I am boiling it instead of stir-frying it, but I like it because it only has a few ingredients, including wheat and tapioca starch. I also have one bag of extra large shrimp, 26 to 30 per pound. It's a 16-ounce bag. And you can see my seasonings. I'm using thyme, garlic, black pepper, onion, poultry, and salt. You could use fresh garlic. I have celery that I'm starting off with, so you know my method if you've seen any of my videos before. I break my celery in half to pull off the stringy part. That's what people don't like. It gets stuck in your teeth, and it's just not that pleasant. So I pulled that off before I actually cut the celery. Now, if you have carrots, you can also add that to your stock, but what I had on hand was celery and yellow onion. So I'm not going to use this whole onion. I'm actually going to cut some up to be in the broth part that I'm going to discard, and then I'm going to slice some up to actually be in the soup. So you can use it to your liking. If you like it, great. If you don't, then you don't have to use it. But I'm making my own vegetable broth so that I can control the sodium in it. So I'm starting off with a big pot of water, and I'm just using about a half pan full of water because I know I want a lot of broth with my noodles. So add your veggies and then add your seasonings. You can use a tablespoon of each seasoning that doesn't contain sodium. So for my salt and my pepper, I'm starting off with about 1 teaspoon for this whole pot. We're going to taste our soup later, so then you can add more salt and pepper if you need it. It's just hard to take out that seasoning if you put too much, right? So I know I like garlic powder, onion powder, thyme, so I'm very generous with that, using about a tablespoon or 2. To my liking. This poultry seasoning is great. It's called poultry seasoning, but it is vegan. It contains thyme, sage, marjoram, rosemary, black pepper, and nutmeg. So I guess McCormick determined this was a blend of spices that's great on poultry, but I love it on vegetables and seafood as well. There's a link in my description where you can buy it on Amazon because sometimes it is hard to find it in stores. But once you have the seasoning to your liking, give it a mix with a spoon. And we're going to let this come up to a boil and then let it simmer for a few minutes. Add your chicken pieces and let it boil. And we want our meat to cook until it is fork tender. So depending upon the temperature of your stove, that could be 30 minutes. It could be an hour. Just use your fork. And when you feel your meat is cooked, then you're ready to go to the next step and actually proceed with taking out your meat and your stewing vegetables. So in my sink, I have a big stainless steel bowl. Then I have my colander in that bowl because I'm going to pour my stock into the colander. But I don't want to get rid of my broth, y'all. We're going to keep that in the bowl underneath it. So the colander is just to catch the big pieces of vegetable. And I'm not letting the meat plop in because it's heavy and I don't want that heavy stock to burn me. So I'm putting in the meat gently to get everything out of my pot. I'm straining out the vegetables in the meat. I'm going to save that meat to eat later, maybe with a chicken salad. And here is my beautiful almost clear broth. So now I have my stock back on the stove, and I've added my onions and I've added my noodles. I opened the pack. So you just want to let it cook for about 5 minutes so the noodles heat up and they're nice and soft. I'm adding some fish sauce. This is Vietnamese, and this one contains anchovies. Fish. Oftentimes they contain dried shrimp, but I wanted the kind specifically with fish. So if you use this, be sure to notify anyone eating this that it does contain fish, i.e. fish sauce. So once your noodles are cooked, then you can add in your broccoli. Now this was frozen broccoli thawed in a microwave, but other than that, I didn't pre-cook it. So just thaw it enough to get the ice crystals off. And we're gonna let it actually cook in our broth. Once your broccoli has cooked for a couple of minutes, then add your shrimp. I washed and peeled the shrimp. It was already deveined, so all I had to do was pull off the shell and the legs and the tail. And so this is one piece that still had it on, so I'll remove that part. But yeah, beautiful shrimp. So we're just gonna give this a stir, and don't mind my fork. It was late and I was tired. Otherwise, if I was thinking clearly, I would have used a wooden spoon or a silicone spoon. But we're just gonna let our shrimp cook until it is getting pink. You don't want your seafood overcooked. So after just a couple of minutes, y'all, look at that. The shrimp and the broccoli and the noodles are getting seasoning from our highly seasoned broth. This smells so good. It tastes so good. It's filling, but you don't feel overstuffed. So to me, this is one perfect meal to have in the summer or the winter time. So y'all, if you make udon noodles, leave me a comment below and let me know how do you use your udon noodles, and maybe give me some ideas to try my next recipe. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel.